I want to talk a little bit about what we have seen so far from Colorado. Okay? I realize that Colorado is a contentious subject on this here show. Okay, fine. But after what Colorado did against Arizona, 34-7 win, with a half football without Travis Hunter, who only played 54 snaps in this game, still a ton of snaps, 41 on offense. They played complete football. Shedeur Sanders played a great game. They ran the ball well. They played complementary defense. They saw it before it happened, and they snuffed it out. It is the best game of football that I've ever seen Colorado play for Prime. And now they are 5-2 for the first time since 2005. But that's not Dr. Steelhammer over there. You know what I'm saying? That's not Canelo. Okay? Damn sure ain't Floyd Mayweather. It's a lot of Jake Paul over there at Colorado right now. But they could be more. They can be more. So what I want to know is if Colorado is the bishop or the street prophet's mark. That's what I want to know. Are you the bishop at the Potter's house? Are you the bishop at higher dimensions? Or are you the street prophet? Are you the dude that stands on the crate and people throw quarters at because, well, it's a good show? What are you about? I realize what Prime is about, but Prime doesn't play. Prime doesn't play. Prime is the greatest marketing engine in the sport. Prime can speak on Obama and nobody says anything. You know what I mean? But Prime doesn't play. I do know this, though. Those men take this personally, and you could see it in their responses. Shedeur Sanders going out of his way to go, I remember everybody that says something bad about me. Okay, well, you're going to need to grow up just a little bit more. Just a little bit. That only works for so long. You can only be chippy for so long when you get to where you're going. Or Shiloh, who pointed out a reporter that made it personal for him, going, look, you stuck up for me when I couldn't. I appreciate you. Thank you. It ain't supposed to be that personal. Not with media. It's supposed to be business-like, but they operate on a different scale over there. Cool. So does a bishop. So does street prophet. You know, I was growing up, my mother, right, she would take me to church. I would go to church Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We didn't go to church on Friday or Saturday, but I was back Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. My daddy was an usher. My mama was a greeter. We was in and out all the time. So I spent a lot of time at the church bookstore, and I spent a lot of time in the church nursery. Love little children, right? One of the coolest things that I get to do is magic tricks for the kids, you know, like solve a Rubik's Cube or make an origami plane. Or I learned to change diapers, right, when I was 12 years old, because that's where I want to be. And when I wasn't there, I was in the bookstore. And I would be given the privilege, the blessing, really, of my mother going, all right, so what are we reading this week? Maybe it was some book by Joyce Meyer, some book about Billy Graham. But the one that always kind of stuck with me were the ones that my daddy would get up on. Like my daddy, he's the kind of person that would Blair Fred Hammond, Blair Vicky Winans, BB and CC2, the New Jersey and the Mississippi Mass Choir. Okay? So my daddy had a very particular kind of preacher that he would like to hear talk. And they were always the same kind. You know, it's Dr. Fred Price. It was Bishop Pearson. And it was Bishop Jakes. But nobody got my daddy up and going like Leroy Thompson. Nobody. He will be out here with the money cometh to me now. You know, speaking it into existence. You know, that's what some people would call prosperity gospel. Grew up watching Creflo Dollar do his thing. You know, making jokes about people highlighting the Bible in 4 different colors, right? But are you walking it like you talk it? You know, what your book say? Are you in your book? Which book are you in? And every time I look at Colorado, I see Prime in that mold. And you know what? There's something to that. Because if you know as much as I know about Prime, you know that Bishop Jakes means the world to him, right? You know that his faith is, there's nothing more important to him than that. but it also is foundational to how he has chosen to coach his football team, and frankly, how he has achieved such levels of success. Now, without getting too much into that, I do want to point out it's getting past time for us to figure out which Colorado minister we going to get. And I think at 5-2, we're getting closer and closer to them looking like somebody coming out of the Potter's house and somebody standing on the corner. But in a Big 12 that is unpredictable, right? Even as BYU and Iowa State are undefeated, it's unpredictable. I couldn't tell you who's going to win that league. They've only got one loss in conference play. They're 3-1, and they lost to a Kansas State team that has really beaten everybody but BYU like a drum, but not Colorado. Against Colorado, they were down, against Kansas State, Colorado was down 4 of their 6 best wide receivers. No Shiloh. Shedeur making it happen out there with nobody, and a defense that was trying to hold the line. Let that team get healthy. Let Travis Hunter get his shoulder back. I don't know if that's going to happen, right? It feels like it's going to be a lingering issue for him. But I would not be surprised to find out that we're talking about this team maybe having a shot to get to the Big 12 championship and being able to answer this question in earnest. And once again, if they get a shot, man, maybe some things will fall for them that have never fallen for Prime. Because as cool as it is to talk about Colorado winning, one of the things that I will point out to you is he has not won a bowl game. He ain't win a bowl game at Jackson State. Lost Celebration Bowl to a South Carolina State team that wasn't even supposed to be there. Then he went to Colorado. Then they go 4-8. And now they're already won more games this year than they did all of last year. It's great. It's a good story. But let's see if it can be generational, right? Let's see if it can rise to the level of what Prime expects for his program. It's a man who stood in the end zone the 2022 national championship game with Georgia and Texas Christian and said, we got to get here. Y'all a long way from here. But you're making strides. You're moving in the right direction. It looks like it's coming together. I don't know if you're going to get enough time because Shedeur and Travis, they gone after this year. So you better make it count. You better make this count. So when you tithe and you offer, you better know exactly what it is that you expect.